on the First Alert Weather app. We're live there. We're live on the WSFA family of apps, connected televisions, your tablets, iOS, Android devices. Anywhere where there's a WSFA app, you can stream this live on that. We're also live on Facebook, on the Josh Johnson WSFA page, and on YouTube. If you just search Josh Weather on YouTube, you can watch this live there now as well. So, first thing out of the gate, I'm going to hit you with a lot of information tonight. We've got about 10 minutes to knock out this Facebook, YouTube, multi-platform stream here before we have to go do WSFA 12 News at 10. That's coming up in about, pardon me, about 14 minutes. So we don't have a lot of time. Here's what you got to do. You need to be weather ready by Saturday morning. Before you head to bed Friday night, you need to be weather ready. You need multiple reliable ways of getting weather warnings. NOAA Weather Radio and the WSFA First Alert Weather app are the best combination, right? It's good to have multiple redundant systems to get you weather alerts. You cannot rely on social media. When I say a weather warning or a weather alert, I'm not talking about a weather forecast. I'm not talking about me coming on here and telling you what's going to happen on Saturday. I'm talking about the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning and you have 9 minutes until it hits your house. Facebook and Instagram will show you things too late for that. The algorithm works that way, right? It's not instantaneous. So you can't rely on it for alerts. You can rely on it for some weather forecasts, for updates from me and the National Weather Service and other reputable meteorologists that you know and trust. You can't rely on it for alerts, though. That's a different process and a different system that you have to have in play there. Outdoor weather sirens, no way, Jose. No way. Here's the thing people forget about those. They were built and designed in the 1970s. It's a Cold War technology. And your home has changed since then, right? Energy efficient windows, better home insulation. Those things are really good at keeping your heating and cooling inside your home and keeping the sound of weather sirens outside your home, right? A lot of people don't realize that or consider that fact. But energy efficient windows, better home insulation means outdoor sirens are even less effective than they were before. You're not going to hear them inside. I live 1.2 miles away from an outdoor weather siren at my home. And if I'm laying in my bedroom with the ceiling fan on and the door closed, you'd never hear it. Most of you are in the same boat. So you can't rely on either of these things. It's just a whole different, you got to have the weather radio, you got to have the First Alert Weather app. So, pardon me. I'm going to show you some graphics here for sure that I've been working on and going over and talking about. So, latest run of the high-res rapid refresh has our attention. It's doing something a little different with the morning storms. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. So, Saturday storms, morning. Notice there's a question mark. That's a conditional threat. There could be some storms develop Saturday morning, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. that are tornadic and severe. These will be scattered. They will not affect everyone. They may not even form at all. I get it. That's frustrating for you. It's frustrating for me. But the data is iffy on that. Then in the afternoon, scattered individual supercells will likely form in Mississippi and move into West Alabama. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Then later into Saturday evening and night, lines and clusters of supercells will move out of Mississippi and across the entire area. This will happen 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on after midnight. So the potential here exists for multiple waves of severe weather, and each of them has the risk of being fairly significant, right? Pardon me. I'm getting over a pretty intense case of the flu, so bear with me. So here's the hour by hour. I'm going to show you a couple of these. This is the IBM computer model that we contract out. It's called the Graph. We pay for this data. This is exclusive to us. You can't see a lot of it in a lot of places. So, all right. Friday, it's fine. There's no weather issues. A mix of sunny clouds. It's windy. It's warm. Temperatures soar into the 70s. Friday's a nice day. It's the perfect kind of day to get ready for severe weather, is what it is. So if you don't have the weather radio, if you need to plan ahead where you're going to go Saturday, get it done tomorrow. You got all day. There's no bad weather. Okay, so this model shows a tiny batch of showers over here in West Alabama early Saturday morning, and then nothing else. And then the sun comes out, and then the supercells form in Mississippi and move through, and then the entire cluster moves through, as you head on into the overnight. This is 9 p.m. right here. Notice for a lot of places southeast of Montgomery, it hasn't even rained Saturday by 9 o'clock in the evening. That's in the forecast. Saturday is not going to be an all-day storm scenario. There are going to be stretches that are dry. There are going to be parts of Alabama where it doesn't rain until after the sun goes down Saturday. So when that happens, please don't get on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and call me an idiot. It's going to happen, I promise. But there are going to be other places where we have bad storms as early as Saturday morning. So then in this scenario, your big cluster of storms slides on through river region, 9 to midnight. It's in East Alabama, midnight to 4. Wiregrass, 4 to 7, and then it's gone. But there's another short-range model that's used in use. This is called the high-res rapid refresh. And it shows a different scenario and a different set of circumstances. This is valid at 7 o'clock Saturday morning. And look at this. This would be a large cluster of thunderstorms, and the southernmost storms in that cluster would be capable of producing rotation and tornadoes. And it brings those right into the heart of central Alabama. I don't know if this is right or not. This is the first computer model run for this specific computer that goes out far enough to kind of see this idea. And then on through the day Saturday, it lifts it north. Now, I will say this, in this scenario, it lifts north, and you end up in the same place, right? The morning storms in this scenario are long gone, and then the sun comes out, and so you end up with some nasty storms scattered around Saturday at 6 p.m. And this is the end of this run. That's as far as this computer goes, but my suspicion is it would begin to show some very bad things happening after 6 o'clock as this all comes east. Because that same model, so this is the model I just showed you, the high-res rapid refresh, but this is a different parameter. Instead of showing you where the storms are, I'm showing you what the tornado environment is. Anywhere where you see blue, it's there. There's a risk of tornadoes. You get up here into the yellows and the oranges, and the tornado risk becomes higher, and the risk of a strong tornado, EF2 or higher, goes up too. So watch this with me here. That morning batch of storms comes through, and yes, there is a risk of tornadoes within it, but the atmosphere recovers pretty well as the sun comes out. And look at this, by Saturday evening, you have a very large area of strong to extremely favorable tornado environment space, right? So this is valid at 5 o'clock Saturday evening. That's not saying there's going to be a tornado everywhere on this map. What this is saying is, does the environment support the formation of tornadoes, and to what degree? And with a map like this, you would look at that and say, yes, it does. So bottom line is this, there's a questionable, we call it conditional, threat of severe weather early Saturday morning that includes most of our area, central, west, southwest Alabama. If that were to form, we could have tornadoes and problems there. But it may not form. And I don't like being vague, and you don't like me being vague, but that's the reality. That's what the data says. Then all of that moves out. Whether it happened or not, it's all gone. 9, 10, 11, noon Saturday, the sun comes back out, recharges the environment, and we end up sort of back where we started, where we have multiple clusters of storms that then would pivot through Saturday afternoon and into Saturday night. So the threat level on this is a 4 out of 5. That's from the Storm Prediction Center. We will get an additional update from them at 1 o'clock in the morning, early Friday morning. So watch meteorologist Nick Gunner tomorrow morning. He'll have an update on the new SPC package that comes out at 1 o'clock in the morning. By the way, 3 days out, for them to issue a level 4 risk 3 days out has only happened 3 times in the last 14 years. So it's rare, right? And so a lot of people like to say that we hype the weather and blah, 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 blah. I didn't make this forecast. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma made this forecast. They have no incentive whatsoever to hype weather, ever. They don't depend on ratings or clicks or any of that. So everyone in the meteorological community is looking at the data and saying, whoa, Alabama, we've got a problem on Saturday. So that's where we are. That's the state of the union, if you're in this whole thing. So no, these will not be spin-ups. These will be, that is the one saving grace for days like this is these are big, obvious storms producing big, obvious tornadoes, right? We're not sitting there looking through like a needle through a haystack, looking through a haystack for a needle, trying to find rotation. On days like Saturday, it's usually pretty obvious. So we will be able to give you pretty good warning on the whole thing. So people asking, is this an April 27th setup? No, it's not. That was a once in a 50 year kind of thing. But, Beauregard wasn't an April 27th setup, and Selma and Watauga County last year were not those kind of setups either. So bottom line, it doesn't have to be that kind of setup to be a really awful day. And I do think this is the kind of day where you can have multiple tornadoes, some of which could be strong, some of which could produce significant amounts of damage, destruction, and maybe even fatalities. So I don't say any of that to frighten you. I just say it so that you're ready. Last thing, I've seen a lot of people on social media talking about literally leaving the state of Alabama. Look, tornadoes are small in the grand scheme of the world. On April 27th, 1% of Alabama was hit by a tornado. That means 99% was not. So statistically, you will put you and your family in more danger getting on the highway and driving to a different state than you would just hunkering down here at home. Now, you need to have a plan. You need to know where you'll go. Check your tornado shelters, right? If you live in a mobile or manufactured home, I would think about trying to spend Saturday and Saturday night with a family member or friend who lives in a site-built home and has easy access to a place of better refuge. But do you need to evacuate the state of Alabama? Absolutely not. You're putting yourself in more harm's way doing that than you are riding at the storm out here. Again, everyone makes their own choices and their own decisions. I'm just telling you what I would tell my own family, my own set of friends. So that's that. There you go. All right. I hate to run. It's 9:57 though. WSFA 12 News at 10 begins in exactly 3 minutes. Hope you'll join us. You can stream that newscast, by the way, live on the WSFA app, WSFA.com/live, free over the air with an antenna, and you can also watch it on your pay TV services, cable and satellite. So we'll see you there. I'll do additional Facebook, YouTube, app updates throughout the day tomorrow. We're going to do a lot of them tomorrow. So keep an eye on the Josh Johnson WSFA page and my YouTube page and the First Alert Weather app. We'll keep you posted.